Today, the fall weather is really here. It's really gotten cold overnight, and so I really get in the mood to start working out in the garage in this weather. But I have one final little project I wanted to do today, and I'll explain what that is. While I have the bike still in one piece, I wanted to make up some the little vinyl parts, the little trim parts. And I want to do a really extensive, because it's a nice sunny day today, a nice photo shoot, so I can look at these pictures, because the more I look at them, the more I see things I want to change, I want to add, I want to take away. So if I can get that done today and maybe get a coat of clear on that gold. By the way, I got a few other people to look at that color gold last night. Everybody gave it a thumbs up. And having a color that I'm going to be happy with is such a big part of this project. You can't imagine how much anxiety I have when you paint silver or gold. And here's an example as I'm standing here yapping. When I did the wheels, the silver wheels on the R1, it changed the whole look of the motorcycle. It changes it in a way. I was so happy. When I was done with it, I said, wow, what a good choice. On the Suzuki, I have 2 sets of wheels, of course. So if I didn't like them, I could always make another set without a big deal. And I have 2 sets of wheels for the Kawasaki, of course. But what happens is, I really would like to get the wheels on this are going to be such a focal point. The black motorcycle and the gold wheel, that color gold really has to pop. And like the yellow, the Yama yellow that Dennis mixed, I can't tell you how happy I was when I got that extra quart of paint. And of course, that's the sad thing, is I really had to use it already. So this whole side of the bike was repainted. And I have plenty of West Cooley paint if I ever drop old West Cooley or whatever. And I've said it before, but it's worth mentioning, if you need to match any of these old colors from standard bike colors, the only place I've found that's reliable is Color.ALSO. Other than that, it's the Stevie Wonder Paint Mixing Club. Now it's going to be an eclectic and unpredictable day, I can tell. But there's one thing never changes, the fish. Now see what happens at this time of year, the leaves are all falling. The whole yard is turning into what a mess. But anyway, we do, look at over here even, but they will make for a good photo shoot, and we still have some real pretty trees in the neighborhood. Now believe it or not, we still get to cut wildflowers every day. We still haven't run out of flowers. And one thing we never run out of coffee, ever. That's the key to life. Now, I thought I'd share a minute of this. This is really something special. The kids decided as a gift for Karen, they got her, and I don't even remember if it was for whatever, it was for her birthday, I think, that they got her this thing from Costa Rica. These flowers come once a month from Costa Rica. They are just absolutely beautiful. And I wish I knew how they do this. They put them in a box. They come with plant food, and once a month, you get a big bouquet of flowers. Pretty cool. And of course, Karen loves her flowers. And by the way, this is her little, I don't show this very often, her little art studio of paintings she'd made from places we've been around the world. Every one of the paintings is Karen's painting, and they all represent places we've been on our travels around the world and different adventures that we've had. And this one here is my favorite, Kiji, Russia. And it's just been, she enjoys her art like I enjoy the motorcycles. It's just been, just couldn't be any better. But anyway, we do enjoy the flowers, and one of the things we enjoy, and I hope if you're watching this video, I hope you enjoy it too. We try to share not only the passions we have, but the life we have. But anyway, and we got to get down to that life right now and get to work. So the other day, we pretty much are done with this phase of it, but I laid out what I thought would be the final shape for the carbon fiber piece that I have to make for the side of the bike. I did the test for the gold. This is on the previous video, and boy, do I love this gold. Now, I noticed when I looked at the video, where you see it here, on the video it shows as white. It isn't white. That's just the color it is. And by the way, that was a find. So I have these little templates that I've kind of finalized. I have one more that I want to make. I want to put a little thing like that on the mirror just for something different. So I just want to go over where we are on this project. This is what John Pothier is working on, and somewhere in the near future, we're not in any rush for this, but some kind of a custom logo. Don't know how that's going to play out. And I did tests with the gold paint, with the pigment that we got from Amazon, and some clear binder. And I've got what I think, now these are my final pieces, and these are on a sticky back vinyl shelf paper that I can peel the back off of, and I can permanently put them on the motorcycle. I can even ride the motorcycle with them on there. But the purpose of doing it that way is I want to have a photo shoot. I want to shoot out a bunch of pictures anyway, so I can have the best 2 or 3 that I can look at over and over and over and share them on the computer, and hopefully make sure I have this exactly the way I want it when it comes time to airbrush in that paint. So the first thing I do, and I'll do it off camera because it's going to be take a little time. These are what I think these have evolved into being the final patterns that I want to use. So what I want to do is I want to make, because I'm going to peel the backing off of this and stick them in position for the photo shoot. So what I want to do, I want to make a spare set, because when I peel these off they may be too wonky, or I don't know yet. But this is a lot of hours to get these shapes and sizes and proportions. And I'm sure once we start working on a logo, we'll come up with something really cool. But we always do, that's for sure. And by the way, John, when he spent a lot of time, and I mean he spent a lot of time on that FZR logo, wow, I can't even tell you how many hours. And I watched him work his end of the computer. We do it with a program where we both can work on a computer. It is a lot of fun, but John is the one with the skill. I'm really in labor. Anyway, I'm going to get this next set of patterns cut and get out to the garage before it gets any colder. Now, one of the mistakes I made, and I don't know what the answer would be here. I really should have bought more of this paper, because what I thought I'd do, and of course I'm trying to conserve it, I want to get an extra set. You know what happens is, and it's just uncanny how it can happen. I see, no matter how I lay this out, I've got to, I guess I'm not going to win this battle. This is what I'm saying. The point that I'm making here is, and it's such a good idea when you buy a piece of paper and it's $1, you should just buy an extra one. And now the funny thing is, because I'm such a fanatic about having enough paint and spare paint, and yet when I bought this, I really didn't think this was going to work as well as it did. And it did work pretty well. Now it evolved into where this shelf paper with the sticky back, really, I could have gone right to this in the very beginning had I known it. And of course, that's the reason we share the videos, because the people that are doing this same thing, every one of them develops good ideas, or you invent something, or in my case, sometimes you just stumble upon a good idea. And then shame on you if you don't share it. So we do have a whole spare set now. Voila! And I even have paper left over. Now what I'm doing, I'm cutting out the other side, but I got to remember that the other side is going to be reversed. So I have to make sure I mark each one, a left side and a right side. And boy, talk about cutting it short on paper. This is really not my finest hour. So now I have the left side, the right side. The only thing I want to do, I want to take my scrap out and make up a little pattern for the mirror. Come in and make a mirror image of it, and I'll have my whole set to install on a bike for the photo shoot. So I wasn't sure how I was going to like this. I kind of like it. Little pattern that carries that theme onto the mirrors. And of course, what we'll do with this is we'll just save the pattern. And it's funny, always remember to make mirror images. If you make two exactly the same, one's going to be wrong. Anybody ever built a model plane and made two left fuselage sides, knows exactly, two left wheel pants or whatever, knows what that's all about. So now the next thing is to just put these in place. They're self-stick shelf paper. Should be no big deal. You know, these have a self-stick, oops, I'm not sure how many times you can stick them down and they'll stay stuck. We're going to find out though. Now, actually, you could go out and take a ride with this on, and do a photo shoot. Maybe if it wasn't such a crappy day. It really got cold in the last couple days. Not a great day. So I'll put the rest of them on. That's pretty much what I ultimately wanted to have. I have the mirror image for the other side. Then I can look at, I don't have the badging. I can do a photo shoot and I can look at all of what it looks like from every possible angle, because what's going to happen is there's always some angles that looks wonky. There's some angles that looks great. I found that out with the FCR. And I only found it out after doing a really more than one photo shoot. So that's the whole purpose of this today. Everything we're doing here takes longer than if you just pull a bike apart and put some tape on it and then put it together and go, I really didn't like that. I really want to stack the deck in my favor that I'm going to really like this, because I'm going to have this bike. I love this motorcycle. I really want to keep this forever. This will never get sold. Before we've even done a photo shoot, I can see one of the things I don't like. See, this goes, there's a kink here. And so I'm going to make another piece, maybe a little bit shorter on this, after I do the photo shoot, because see, what'll happen is from this angle, you don't see any problem at all. Everything looks fine. This, because it's on a flat plane, it looks fine. But the problem is this one is not on a flat plane. This one is on a relatively flat plane, so everything looks good. This, where it comes up, I'm going to have to see if I can just shorten that. Make up another pattern if I like it. If I don't like it, we'll see. Okay, with the shorter pattern, now see what happens. Now there's a gradual curve there, but no kink. And boy, that's something, that's the kind of thing you got to duck the bullet now, not after you've got the paint on. So I'm very happy with that. Very happy with that. Not totally crazy about that yet. What I think, because what happens, see, these are asymmetrical, and this is less symmetrical. So I'm going to shorten this piece just a little bit and make up one more pattern. And this is the give and take that makes for the whole purpose of doing this. And when there's a point at which you just say yes. I like that a little bit better. In fact, it's just touching that kink. I'm going to shorten that when I make the final pattern for that, since I'm going to do an adjustment on that. So I wind up with 4 patterns, and I've got both sides of them. Well, I have to do the other side. I want to get the motorcycle so I can really see what this is going to look like before I strip it and do the paintwork. Now, no matter what angle I look at this, what I'm looking for is things I like and things I don't like. And it's easier to do that on a big computer screen than just looking at it in, like we are out here with sun reflections and everything. And my gut feeling is once we get the logo that John and I will finalize, once we get that logo figured out and that bottom painted, I think that's going to change the whole look of the motorcycle also. But right now, just picturing this, if I could Photoshop this in with gold wheels to match the trim, I like the fact that it's subtle. I like the fact that it's not overpowering. It doesn't look like a teenage motorcycle. So I'm going to spend the next hour or so, go have a cup of coffee, and then just shoot off some photos, put them out, and do my little critique on it. Okay, so these are roughly the photos that I shot today, and I wanted to give a little commentary on what I thought was doable here. Now, the objective is I just take the camera out and shoot it from every possible angle, move the motorcycle around all over the driveway so I get the light from several different angles. And let me just, there's always things that jump out at you right away. And there's things I say, oh, I like that. I don't like that. I like that. I don't like that. Now, one thing I really do like, I've got the right amount of gold. If I were to put more gold, make these things bigger or put stripes, it's going to detract from it once I get the wheels in gold, see? So I'm trying to envision as I look at this, and this is the reason for doing a photo show like this, I want to look at it from every possible angle. Now, I'm still not sure how it's going to look with the lower fairing painted gloss black. Maybe I'll want to add some little wrinkle down there, but right now I can't do that. But I love the way the nose looks. Those two little gold arrowheads, they totally changed the look of the front of the bike. Now, that piece between the windshield and the front fairing, that's going to be gloss black. Again, I can't really see that until I'm done with it. I like the amount on the seat. I wanted to keep this simple. I wanted to keep it basic. I don't want to turn it into a some kind of a overdone bike. Very simple. I like this angle. The two little gold things really accent the bike. And I'm trying to picture, I think that's just perfect. That's what I had in my mind, because the Kawasaki's all have that origami look. It's all angles, and it always looks like a dinosaur or something coming at you. Mean looking, hard edges, no soft edges. All of the modern ones too, they have the same look, that look of I don't know what it would even be, like they call it origami look. But anyway, as I see this from a lot of different angles, I don't see anything here yet that's a deal breaker that I have to say, uh-oh. Now, the deal breaker this morning was when I did put that piece on the lower nose, and it went around that little kink. Soon as I moved away from 90 degrees, it looked awful. I didn't like it at all. Now that I see that I've shortened it, I think, and made it a little bit smaller, I like it a lot better. I like it a lot better in this view, too. It doesn't detract from anything. I want this to complement the looks of the bike, but I don't want... Well, I've seen some, and I've gone to Motorcycle Mall, actually, and I've walked around and looked at paint jobs, and I said, 99% of them are over the top. They're just too busy for my taste. And they don't, they just put a stripe and a star and a stripe and a star. I didn't want this to be that way. Now, with that little triangle piece between the headlights, when I get that in gloss black, and that part comes right off, so that's a real easy peasy thing. And I'm looking at this. See, the whole idea is you look at it from a lot of different angles. This angle here, it just couldn't be better. When you pull up next to somebody at a traffic light or another motorcycle, they're going to look down and see that view of the front is going to look nice. This view with that little piece on the tail, I like that. That's good. Now, the only thing I don't have in these pictures, and I'm sorry I don't, is the little thing that John Pothy is going to come up with, or we're going to do it jointly, of course. But he'll do all the hard work, and I'll do all the stuff so I can take full credit for it. But anyway, I had thought about putting something on the front of the fender that said Kawasaki or Ninja or, something. This looks real nice. Now, with that color gold, when I've taken it out in the sun that I mixed already, I've already ordered the pigment for a lot more. I want to make myself plenty of extra paint. I think once these wheels are painted, it's going to offset the fact that a big part of the bike is black. I'm thinking about blacking out the shock, maybe taking the shock apart and painting the spring black. I don't know, because I'm going to make a cover for that side, a little baby side cover, more than likely out of carbon fiber. That's the plan, at least right now. And it'll change the whole look of the bike. There's so many things that change. Just painting that lower fairing is going to change the look of the bike. And sometimes then you say, well, I got to add a little gold to it or something. But I can't really do that now. Right now, what I've gotten so far in the last week of working with this, I really have gotten to the point where I'm really dreaming about this every day now. And I think I'm closing in on having it absolutely that I'm going to be happy with it when I'm done. But of course, it's all, as everything in motorcycling, in the eye of the beholder. Today I got accomplished what I really wanted to. I got the vinyl shelf paper simulated paint on the bike. I'm going to leave it here in case in the next couple of days we get a riding day. I can go out and shoot some pictures out in the boondocks with to look at. The thing that I've noticed is I take a picture of something that I think looks right or wrong, and the next day it looks, and then 3 days later, and then 4 people look at it. So now I've got, after basically a week of working on this, I've got a real vision in my mind of what I wanted and how. I really just can't envision this without the gold wheels, unless somebody can Photoshop in gold wheels into a video that I don't know about. I can't do it. But anyway, we're going to start the restoration very soon. This is a bike I absolutely love. It's a keeper. It's a real motorcycle you can enjoy riding, and it just does so many things well. It's just a joy to ride. But now the issue is I want to get this little custom touch on it, very subtle. Not an overpowering like a thing of a chopper would have. A very subtle little custom touch, and then get a couple little details, the carbon fiber pieces, the gold wheels. I think it's going to be a fun winter, and it's coming soon. And once we actually start ripping the bike apart, we'll start making part 1, part 2, blah, 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 blah. In the meantime, if you're bored, you can watch the FZR restoration with some of the other bikes. They're all fun. We've enjoyed everyone, and what's great is at the end of it, you get to keep the bike for the rest of your life. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.